I'm right here.
Marcus is here.
I can't see it. Oh, there we go. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SpeakerMC Show, where it's all about relationships. Today, we have a fabulous topic. Our topic today is man to man, exploring the male dynamic, the male relationship. Is it the same as a woman-to-woman relationship? Well, we'll see. And in case you're new to the SpeakerMC Show, our show talks about relationships on the levels that how you deal with yourself, how you deal with your environment, and how you deal with others. So it's relationship on three perspectives: relationship to self, relationship to your environment, and relationship to others. And this topic tonight falls under the theme of relationship to others. So we want to see how our interpersonal relationships with communication and camaraderie, all those things, how they tie in, but from the perspective of a man to another man. We're going to have fun with this. Why? Because I brought this thing right here to set the tone. So I'm going to read it so that everyone kind of gets the feel and the vibe of what we're trying to bring tonight. So, man to man. Boys ask questions. Men give answers. Boys play house. Men build homes. Boys shack up. Men get married. Boys make babies. Men raise children. Boys are full of excuses. Men come up with solutions. Boys look for somebody to take care of them. Men look for someone to take care of. Boys seek popularity. Men seek respect. Boys are all talk. Men are all action. Are you with a man or a boy? Ladies, woo! And even some gentlemen out there, you know, we're going to explore that dynamic as well. So I wanted to set the tone for tonight's topic because we have two fabulous guests who are going to go at it. And I do mean go at it because there's so much testosterone in the room. And we're going to have fun with this topic. How do men communicate? How do men form friendships? How do men partner with other men? Because I know as a woman, we do it a little bit differently. So our first guest tonight is the incomparable Mr. Marcus Carter. Marcus is an author and a TV host, and Marcus is in the Chicago, Illinois area. Excuse me. Marcus's newest development, his newest project is Black Love Matters. You can reach him at www.blacklovematters, and the Black is spelled B-L-A-K, Love Matters. He is the aficionado of urban romance. You can also reach Marcus at info@blacklovematters.com or 312-273-3487. His books are You, Me, Him, and Her, and he's doing the sequel, which is Yours, Mine, His, and Hers. Sounds like an orgy to me. What do you say, people? Please put your hands together and give Marcus Carter a round welcome. Hi, Marcus.
Hey, how you doing? Glad to be back. It's always a party when we hang out, so I'm ready.
Yeah, I love hanging out with you, Marcus. We get the party going right. And our other guest is a gentleman that I had the pleasure of running into some years ago in a Toastmasters group. I was his mentor, and he just kicked me to the curb. But that's all good.
Ouch.
His name is Adruma J. Victoria. Adruma is a speaker and an author. And oh, I said you're in Chicago. You're in Maryland, aren't you?
Yes.
This is a typo. My mistake. Adruma is a big drummer. When I say a big drummer, I mean he is renowned worldwide. He has played his bongo drums and his other drums. He plays drums all over the world. And he has, his latest project is called Dream Big Productions. You can reach him at jamajvictoria@gmail.com. He specializes in soundtrack production for commercials, videos, and drum instructions, as well as a drum circle facilitation. You can reach him at 301-379-4205. Ladies and gentlemen, could you put your hands together and give Mr. Adruma Victoria a round of applause? Hello, Adruma.
Hi. Greetings, Marsha. Greetings, family. Thank you for welcoming me here. It's great to be here.
And thank you for being here. Adruma is also a friend of the show, just as Marcus is, because Adruma was on our last show, which was Woman to Woman. We had the Woman to Woman version on the SpeakerMC Show last time. And he gave us a couple cents, 2 cents, 3 cents, and 4 cents about the Mother God, you know, the Mother God. So I wanted us to invite him back tonight just to explore the topic of the male dynamic. So, oh, this is for the next show. I'm not even going to go there right now. So let me stop sharing the screen so that we could see everyone and we could have a real dynamic conversation here. Wait, how do I do this? Yes! And here we are. Okay. So, gentlemen, our topic tonight is man to man. And I wanted us to explore that topic because I deal with women empowerment, and there's so many women who are having relations, whether successful or unsuccessful, with boys and don't know. That's number one. That's why I read the intro piece at the beginning. What distinguishes a man from a boy? And because sometimes we don't know if we are a man or if we are a boy because of upbringing and, you know, environment, whatever that could be. So you don't realize what role you are playing when you should be playing another role or stepping up your game, so to speak. So tonight, since we on SpeakerMC Show, we talk about the topic in 3 levels. We talk about what the problem is exactly. Then we talk about how can you identify that this is a problem? How does it manifest? And then you guys are going to give us some topics and tips and suggestions on how to remedy that problem. Fair enough?
Sounds good.
Okay. And we're going to invite our audience to participate in any which way they can. But if I could, when I unmute you, maybe what you could do is kind of, did everyone share their screen? No, not everyone is sharing their screen. Okay. So in the chat box, just raise your hands if you wanted to say something. Fair enough? Okay. So gentlemen, how does the man-to-man relationship, what seems to be the problem with men having close relationships? And let me just put this out there. I know that sometimes men have this aversion to feeling very close to another man because they're scared that someone might say, well, oh, maybe you're gay. You know, they're scared of the perception that it has if a man hugs another man because he's just a comrade. How is it, do you think that that's something that's prevalent? I've seen that. Do you think that that's something that's prevalent? And if that's the case, is that the reason for it being like that? That they're scared that someone will say, oh, something's up with those two? Who wants to go first?
I think in my day-to-day, dealing with males professionally, you don't see it because there's not that intrusion into what somebody's sexual orientation might be. If I'm dealing with the client, I don't care what they do in their bedroom, and they don't seem to care what I do in my bedroom as long as I'm completing the service that I claim to provide. In my personal life, men that I'm very, very close to, we kind of pass that hiccup or that stigma that, like, if I'm too close to a man, that, like, it might mean something. Like, I tell my closest male friends, I'll tell them I love them. I don't have a problem with saying anything like that. But the distance that I see with other males has more to do with a lot of males in my life. They're assuming the positions in their own household, so we don't have the time to hang out and do guy things like we used to. So you don't see the camaraderie, but it's not because there's a lack of camaraderie. That's because they're stepping up in other areas.
So they're assuming positions like husbands and caretakers and providers. Is that what you mean?
I mean, you even got some slut buckets out there, but whatever they're doing, they're doing that to the best of their ability. To a point where, like, with your closest friends, you're not like, oh, you can not talk to them for maybe a week or two, and when you talk to them again, you just pick up where you left off, and there isn't that, hey, what happened to you? And it's kind of a mutual understanding. And, hey, if we don't talk, it's because I was handling something, and that isn't mishandled as much as it may have been when you were younger.
Well, I kind of think that as I have close friends, and I'm not one of those people that have to talk to you on the phone every day. That's just not me, because, everybody have busy lives. But if I talk to you and, we're chilling and we have a glass of wine, and it could be on the phone, a phone conversation, and we'll talk for hours, then I might not talk to that person for like months. When I say months, I mean months. And then when we call or talk to each other again, it's like we pick up right where we left off. So some good girlfriends have that kind of relationship as well. But Adruma, male friendships, I really feel that, and I know Marcus said that when guys are close, they kind of got over that hiccup of, oh, what is it going to look like kind of thing. What do you say to that?
Well, what's been expressed so far is like people who would have some kind of, there's a proximity of relationship, of friendship or association. I was thinking more in the larger community mentality of just what it is to be men amongst each other, and try to diffuse the disconnect or any type of perceived toxicity of relationship, of being able to inspire each other to move forward and dare I say, grace each other with our spirits and our good intention of just approving of other people's existence, and not always having to lift them up, but just having the desire for goodwill, and also increasing the respect. I think respect is a real important thing for men. We kill over that. We die over that. That's a real hot ticket issue. And I think what's being called for is those of us who do have mindfulness to understand what is our position in a situation. I'm either an elder, a junior, a son, a cousin, a brother, but we're all a family. We're a human family. So I think if we can kind of have this kind of center, and then realize, okay, we're all at different levels of our maturity and how to relate to each other. Some of us are really stuck on stupid. Some of us are really insightful. Some of us are in pain, and we don't know how to manage our pain, and we lash out at other people. So we got to kind of, it's almost like being a social psychologist, if you will, to deal with how can I relate to others and keep my own integrity, but also at the end of the day, if I'm able to help somebody move forward to their own greatness, to their own sense of being a human family, because everybody's needing love, everybody's needing respect. Not everybody has the maturity to warrant that.
Okay, I don't mean to interrupt your flow here, but I wanted to touch on something that you made mention of. You said that there's this respect. Now, this is a two-pronged comment that I'm going to make. From the woman's perspective, a lot of women, even though we're supposed to empower each other, you know, as men to men, women to women, whatever it is, a lot of women tend to go into that dynamic in a catty competitive stance. And I know that men also are competitive. But what I wanted to talk about, the respect, I had a conversation with a gentleman once, and he said, listen, me and this guy could be best buds, you know, but don't come asking me for money to handle your business, because then I'll lend you the money, but I'm going to kind of lose respect for you. Is that true? Or was that just his stance? Marcus, you want to touch on that?
I want to first agree with you that when Adruma talked about respect, that's a huge, huge concept to me with the male species. And something else that he said that kind of ties into your comment, it has a lot to do with where that guy is. Like 10 years ago, if you would have stepped on my shoe because I thought wearing a pair of Jordans was a sign of respect, like I should be respected because of the sneakers I have on, where now it's like I'm looking for respect because I take care of my household. So it depends on where that man is to how we may approach that. So even in your scenario where guys, okay, if a man is trying to start a business, if two men are trying to do it, and one man is doing what he's supposed to do, and that business is growing, and you got another man that's kind of squandering the opportunity, I can understand how one man may say, hey, don't ask me for that. Don't do that. But a lot of it depends on that place that male is. Like, I feel like I'm at a place where things that would make me feel disrespected and create distance between me and another male, those things don't make me feel disrespected anymore. I could even look at that and say, I know what he's going through, so I'm not even going to let myself go there or get to that place because I don't have time. I have particular priorities that I'm taking care of, and those come first. I can't even let my own mind, my own emotions allow me to deviate from that. And a lot of it has to do with respect, which you brought up, but respect has a completely different definition for me today than it did at 18 or 21.
So it goes along the vein of maturity. As you get older, certain things matter and certain things just don't matter anymore.
Maturity is a tough word too, because a lot of these things have personal definitions. So me and you may agree that maturity is the key, or allows you to know what stage of respect or what you call respect. But a lot of these things are like your definitions is different. Adruma's may be different. And we may talk to a young guy and he may be like, your respect for me is how much money is in my bank account and the shoes I have on or the car that I drive. Where for me, it's like, hey, what do my family say to me when they look at me? Or how do I feel when I walk in my own house?
Okay. So I always say that, you know, maturity is kind of relative, because sometimes we just get taller. We don't get more mature, you know, and it's not, and maturity doesn't have anything to do with age. You know, you just get taller and you're still friggin' childish, and you know, stuff that's supposed to matter doesn't matter to you. You're still a boy or a girl in big people's clothes. So yeah,
right,
I can understand.
I'm pretty sure, Adruma, you're about to jump in, but I just want to say too, you got to imagine just looking at Adruma's bio in my own, like, I'm a business owner. So like, it doesn't float my boat to walk in a room and be able to carry a room. It'll float my boat if I can walk into a room and turn strangers into clients. Completely different things I value today as far as how loud my voice is heard or what it looks like. Or I have different priorities. I'm a business owner. I'm a father. There's different things going on.
Okay, so I want to touch base on us women. How many women do we know that are jumping into some kind some kind of relationship, whether it's coital or not, you know, sexual or not, just a relationship, and say, oh, I'd really like to be with that guy, but that guy is just not there yet. And I've heard it said that when a man is not where he wants to be, whether it's about his money or his status or whatever it is, that him getting into a relationship and remaining committed to that relationship is going to be problematic. Is that right or is that wrong? Adruma?
Get him. Get him, Adruma.
It depends on the man. You know, I'm looking at my brother Marcus, and you know, you seem young and focused and motivated, and that's good. I'm a bit older than you, I believe, and you're not. When do you ever really arrive at where you want to be? It's always an ever developing thing. The thing is a sense of purpose, a sense of self awareness, and you know that you're growing. People you love are growing. There's synergy with those who you love, and also whether an individual can realize, if I'm dealing with a woman and I may be struggling with my money, or I might be struggling with whatever, but there has to be the ability to include making you feel comfortable with whatever I got, based on my heart, based on my love, based on the fact that even though I'm struggling or dealing with something, I can prioritize you. Now, some people just don't realize that. I mean, there's some people who create incredible external environments I've seen couples break up where dude has brought, you know, car, got everything, but he's like emotionally not even there, and can't even nurture his women. And some women even get cancer and die because they can't get the life energy from their love partner, because the guy's just too struggling with some detached or got some hereditary baggage, and not even aware of his ineptness to nurture his love, you know. So you know, we're all carrying some kind of baggage from somewhere and somebody. Some of it's our own, some of it's, you know, things that came before us. So the thing is, you know, you got to go to your center. You got whatever you call your God. You got to go to your God center and be always asking and always trying to be nourishing and loving and caring to the people around you, even as you're trying to move forward and upward. Because if you just get into, I got to get a car, or I got to get a status, or I got to get a house, then you got that. But the person that you love, it, like, what's that? Lady Sings the Blues, like Billy D. Williams says, you know, success don't mean nothing unless you got somebody to share it with. You know, I know as cliche as that may sound, you know, even on the grind up, if that respect is there, if that inclusiveness is there, then, you know, sometimes you see people that ain't got two pot to piss in. They ain't got a pot to piss in, but they got love for each other. And they be richer than people who got shit that you ain't gonna never have. But they don't know how to love each other. They don't know how to value the souls of who's in their life.
Well, listen, I could open a whole Pandora's box with what you just said about with what you just said, that, you know, it's all kind of relative, that you can have all this material stuff, and if you don't have the right connection and the love with that person, then it doesn't really mean anything. But sometimes that's relationship. We're talking about man to man. So I'm not even going to open that Pandora's box. You're not going to tempt me today, Adruma. I still want us to get back to man. You guys, testosterone's competitive. If two guys are best friends, okay, and one guy is doing so freaking well, like, I read this book, I forgot the name of the author, and I always big him up and I forgot his name, black guy, and he wrote a book about this girl, she's so beautiful or something like that. And there were these two guys. One was a comedian, so he wasn't making a whole lot of money, and the other guy, he was just like a gigolo. He lived off of women, but he lived off of women who were in their executive status, so, you know, those women could afford him. But the comedian guy was always jealous of this guy because he always wore the nice clothes. He was always driving the nice whips, you know, looking sharp, but they were best friends. And the guy who was always doing well would give him his hand-me-downs, but he always took it with that saltiness to him, because at the end of the day, guys are always very competitive. What do you guys have to say about that? I mean, no matter how much love you might have for this person, yeah, that's my bro, you know, that's my ride or die. Still, that little saltiness.
Well,
Marcus.
Go
I
ahead.
was going to ask Marcus, sorry.
I think first and foremost, like you point out a guy that's concerned with where another man is in his life. That guy, I can't really call him a man. Like, it's no matter anything. And Adruma just met him today. There's nothing he could say, even if he say, "Hey, Marcus, you motherfucker, I don't care about what you're doing." There's nothing he could possibly say that would make me be like, "Hey, I got time and energy to put into Adruma right now." There's no man that just doesn't exist, to a point where it's like, it's easy to say, "Hey, I like what this brother is talking about," because I don't have a stake in his race. I don't have a horse in his race. I don't think he has a horse in mine. I think that's something that kind of comes to get older. Like, he cannot affect my output, no way, shape, form, or fashion. So I have no choice but to just encourage him to do the same thing. I hope you can find what I find or feel what I feel. And I hope I can feel what you feel and be able to see life through your eyes. But the competitiveness, it leaves. Like, I'm never going to make the basketball team. I'm 36. I'm not going to the NBA. I'm not going to be a rap star. So that pecking order of being the number one guy, it becomes an internal mission where, like, Adruma can't stop what I'm doing. No other male can stop what I'm doing. So I can't focus on him. There's no reason to hate him. There's no reason to overly love him. There's no reason to have any excess of emotion. There's no time and energy to have any excess emotion about something that's not in my direct path for me going from point A to point B. And that, again, like Adruma said earlier, that comes to respect. I respect that he's probably doing the exact same thing right now, and that's not focusing on markets, not caring about what he's doing, who he's doing, how he's doing them, how long he can do them, how much money he has while he's doing it. I'm assuming another man doesn't have time. They're like, I don't have time to focus on what this guy is doing, so I can just hope that he's doing great and encourage him and support him in any way that I can.
You know, that sounds very altruistic. I swear. It sounds like, oh, kumbaya. Is that true? Is that true? You guys are so freaking competitive, you know,
Marcus,
and that might be your
nicely.
realization, Marcus. That might be your reality. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that there's so many men out there who act like such assholes. And I'm wondering, what the fuck is up with them? You know? So Adruma.
You should have recruited assholes for the show so we can have a better debate. Because I like everything that Adruma is saying. Like, it fits. Like, it makes sense to me. It sounds good. Like, so I don't know.
I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong. I'm just asking a question because, you know, meeting people as a woman, and I'm in the dating circle, and they're just men who are so out there, you know, for whatever reason.
Can I throw this at you real quick?
Yes.
Like, I think women are sitting there in some room right now thinking that men have different types of motives and thoughts going on that we really don't have. Like, you may be sitting there like, all right, my relationship didn't go well because Marcus was too focused on what Adruma might be doing. That's what Marcus was doing. That's why we didn't work out. And, like, it doesn't happen. That's not really what's happening.
Okay, Marcus. Maybe I should have recruited an asshole out there.
You're looking for diversity, right?
Okay, so since we've already beat that horse to death, let me ask you this. And Marcus, you're the aficionado on Black Love Matters, right? What can you tell women that are in these, should I call it a relationship? Okay, they're in these relationships with men who just aren't ready for whatever reason or the other, because Adruma has it right. You know, he should be loving on this woman and treating her with respect, but not many of us are out there getting that treatment because we're not being placed on the pedestal where we deserve to be. so to speak. So as the aficionado on Black Love Matters, how can you talk to the men who are, I wouldn't say disrespecting, but, you know, not stepping up to the rightful plate?
That's a beautiful baby intimacy, Ken. I just want to say that. That's a beautiful
Derica, yeah.
My thought on love, if I had to define it, like, to me, love is inspiration. I don't think anything is a coincidence. So if you have a relationship where a male is not giving a female what she needs, it's not a coincidence. And in a relationship, whether I treat somebody right or treat them well or bad, I was inspired to do so.
Okay.
You know, so certain women I'm around, they inspire me to go get a haircut. They inspire me to make sure I got some money in my pocket. They inspire me to be the best Marcus. Where certain people I'm around, I'm not inspired. I don't care if I have a haircut. I don't care if I talk and look professional. I'm not inspired to do so. So when I hear a woman saying, why my man not doing this? I do this for him. I do this for him. What is he inspired to do?
Right.
What do you inspire that man to do? Now that may come into, like, what are you standing for? Are you making clear what's required to deal with you? But in my world, that's inspiration. Like Marcia on your show, I'm inspired to give the best of Marcus because, Marcia, I love you. You're great. So I want to make sure your show does well. So I'm inspired to bring my A game when I come talk on your show. In certain people, I could be like, all right, is the hour over yet? Is it 9 o'clock yet? You know, and that's what they inspire me to do.
Okay. I appreciate that, and I thank you. Thank you for honoring our stage. So you touched on something that I also want to take issue with, and that's something that I talk to my clients about all the time. Why is it that you're constantly doing for this person? And I don't mean that with any disrespect or disdain. Please understand what I'm saying. So Marcus just said certain people inspire you to do certain things or to step up to the plate. Maybe that guy is not acting that way because he's not inspired to do so. And in asking the woman might say, well, why is it that I do everything for him and he's not inspired to do better? My thing is, because you're doing everything for him. So because you're doing everything for him, there's nothing there for him to do. What do you say to that, Adruma?
Well, there, when you said what you said, I have to just talk honestly about source. We're human beings. I called you a queen. I'm a king. But to me, human being is a representative of God, the highest representative of God. A man is representing Father God, and a woman is representing Mother God. Mm-hmm. And one of the things in history, we don't understand the sacredness of the feminine. We don't understand that there is a Mother God, there's a mother side. Just like a man and woman are married, God in himself and herself are married. And the mother side is very different than the father side. So I'm just going to put this out there. Lately, I've just started accessing and talking and learning about the Mother God on a deeper level. And it's actually healed me. Talk about Chicago. My mother's in Chicago.
Hey, Marcus.
But I met my mother 5 years ago and had a lot of issues.
Ooh.
And talking to Mother God has helped me to love this woman who I don't even know. And what I'm trying to say here is, you women don't know how valuable you are and how you need to run shit centered upon Mother God. Not Father God, not Jesus Christ, Mother God. She is your source, she is your liberation, and she's looking to you. Because she got a new attitude, she's sexual, and that's what I love about her, and that's what I love about y'all. But really, she's your way to help we men get it right. We done fucked up being, patriarchal idiot assholes. And it's really your time to write the rules you women have to come together, not centered on stupid, but centered on Mother God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's the healing. So I'm telling you, this is some serious stuff.
Yeah.
You have to access Mother God, not the Holy Spirit, not Jesus Christ, Mother God. And talk to her about your issues with dumbass niggas and whoever you're dealing with. and just really create the whole shift. My book that's coming out, you women, the shift is honoring Mother God and honoring the sacred of the feminine, not just the beauty between your thighs, because that's the prize, but more than that.
The cookie.
But more than that, it's the essence of your divinity coming from Mother God. And you have to, you are wise to access that, to have discourse and to liaise with Mother God's for your becoming, because your fruition, y'all bring the peace. Y'all bring the peace, and without y'all, Marcus and I would kill each other any fucking way, so. Am I right, my brother?
that is, I couldn't have said that any better. And I think a lot of you, and I think what Adruma is talking about is an example of how males communicate. Like, we don't have like, okay, I got a problem with what he's saying. Like, it's right on point. And a lot of women, you'll deal with them and they'll be like, a man needs to step up. And I feel like what we're seeing in our communities is that our women are not stepping up. I do feel like, I'll tell my woman all the time, like, you set the tone in our house. I could walk in and be upset, but it's not the same if you walk in the house and you're upset. If you walk in a good mood, everybody's in a good mood. It's not the same for me. They
happy
have
wife, happy life.
Tremendous power. It cannot be overstated how much power a woman has in her household, in the community, but they're sitting there gawking, like, wondering what a man is doing. And like me and the other man, we don't have a problem. I'm just like, okay, happy wife, happy life. I can't get caught up in what another man doing, because I understand that happy wife, happy life, not happy friend or happy Adruma, happy life, happy wife, happy life. But you'll think that she would understand that, but the average woman, it doesn't seem like they do. They still wondering what I'm doing, what our relationship doing, what's going on at a job, what happened here, what happened on Facebook, what happened here. But like, no, you are the center of the universe. Carry it, own it, do it,
Absolutely. Oh my God. Cultivating the female sexual energy. Marcella was just holding up that book. That is so on point, because that's another reason why I created S.W.E.L.L, S.W.E.L.L for women, right? Because women are just giving up their power and not realizing that the power lies with them. Men are the predators. They're the chasers. They chase the cookie. They chase the cat. We have the cat. So if we know that we're being chased, then we have a certain amount of power. Now, this brings me to this question. Why is it, and I know that people cheat because people are allowed to cheat, right? So what would you say to the brother, to the guy, to the man who is sleeping with another man's wife, regardless of what brought her to that point where she said, I'm going to cheat on him? Because a lot of women just seek attention and affection, and they end up in these conundrums. But what would make another man overstep that bound of respect, man-to-man respect?
I can tell you, I have one young man who was at a place where I was working, and he's in his 20s, and he was, laying with another man's wife. And I said, dude, you, if that man run up on you and split your head, not that he should, but that's still his wife, and you shouldn't be with another man's wife. So I actually told him, you got to stop this behavior and understand that she's actually using you as a toy, because you losing here. If she really loves you, she got to finish this with this dude, and then y'all can talk about doing something. So he finally pulled himself out of that, and I was happy for him, and he's fine in his own way. Now, I have no concept. I have no conversation with the woman. I'm not trying to. I hope that she gets some kind of guidance on how to behave herself. But I was happy that at least able to help his brother to not,
Well,
violate another
let
man's
me interrupt you right there, and I'm not going to apologize for interrupting, because I want to know, why was it wrong for him to be cheating with another man's wife? I know you said to him, it's wrong what you're doing. Why was it wrong? Did he ask you why?
No, I'm saying it. I'm saying it's wrong because,
for him.
It's wrong for him. It's wrong for her.
No. I understand where I'm coming from. I know the act of cheating, period, is wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're coveting somebody else's wife or husband or whatever.
Right.
But I'm saying, from the male perspective, why one man, you, gonna say to another man, him, that what you're doing is wrong? Because some men actually applaud it and tap him on the back, the double standards, hey, stud man or whatever. But why would he now join your perspective and say,
because there's no
wrong.
dignity. There's no dignity in that. There's no dignity in that at all. It's just devoid of dignity. It's devoid of, love didn't come from the pussy or the penis. It actually came from the creator who designed the pussy and the penis. And there are standards, there are rules of engagement. That shit was put in place before we even sprouted on the planet. So we have to also have.
That's that little one right there.
We have to consult with the divine, and within us is the divine. The divine is inside of the lover and the no good motherfucker. The divine is inside of all of us, but some people don't want to access that. Some people do. If we all have an original mind, and if we get out of denial and then get into respect for self and respect for others, there are rules of engagement. There are things you should and should not do.
Okay, so it still boils down to respect.
Come again?
I would have never said a word.
You wouldn't have said anything to him, to the 18-year-old guy?
No, he's 21.
Whatever he is.
21, 20,
21, 25, whatever it is.
There's some things that you spoke of, and you didn't think me and Adruma were just giving each other too much respect. But it is a competitiveness in men that I think as you get older, you learn to say that, like, I'm not going to change that man's mind. Like, that's a grown man I'm talking to. That the particular decision, that he's going to go do that. And I think about, like, what would a man, if I'm dealing with a woman in that context, and we're doing something behind closed doors, now, not debating the morality of it, but we're doing something behind closed doors, am I looking to take an opinion from another man? Like, what do you have to say? To a point where, like, if I see that, I may feel deep down and like, man, this is terrible. This is what's going on in our community that's breaking up families, but I wouldn't say a word because that competitiveness would come out. Because if I say, hey, bro, what you doing is wrong. And he say, then what is your business of yours? Now me and him are competitive. And I'm feeling disrespected because I'm trying to tell this man that 2 + 2 = 4, and he trying to tell me that 2 + 2 = 5. Then we're going to have a problem because I'm going to feel like, all right, it's my duty to correct and educate this man. A lot of that gets solved by saying, like, you know what? If that's how you process information, how you see the world, that's fine. If you want to go destroy that household, that's on you. I can't, because if I get engaged in it, I'm going to get too engaged in it because I don't do anything halfway. So whatever my feeling was, something inside to be like, hey, bro, you just trying to get through the day and get home to your family. You don't got time to correct another man that feels this is okay or that is okay. So that competitive comes out, but it also subsides because that's not my fight.
So you choose your battles, basically.
Definitely. So what do I win if I correct that man? Now, there may be some generational or maybe some responsibility that I have, but what do I have to gain from a man that obviously sees the world through that lens if I'm able to correct him and have him see the world through a different lens? And how much effort am I willing to exert? Well,
then now you're going to pinch on a bigger question because am I my brother's keeper? You know, everybody always says that. But if we see the community of which you just spoke, right, that the community is going to hell. So we as the elders, so to speak, if you see incorrect action isn't it now your responsibility to do something? Because a child is raised by a whole community. And I remember, even when I was growing up, you're out there and you misbehave, and sister down the street see you misbehaving, she's going to either clap you on the hand or tell your mother or something, you know, but to bring that correction to you so that it doesn't happen again, and so that it doesn't filter into the community that this bad behavior is acceptable. So when does it become your responsibility, whether it's as a man or as a human or as a member of the community, to stand up for something and say something, as opposed to just minding your business and going that way?
Can I respond to that?
Go
ahead. I just came up, you know, I inherited the understanding, like, if you see your neighbor who's married, you know, kissing somebody else who's not his wife.
Kissing how, though?
You know, kissing them like I want to fuck her, you know?
Okay.
Just
be clear.
Yeah. It's not your job to necessarily go and put his shit on blast and go start talking to his wife and all that shit. But I do believe it's your responsibility to say, look, I have a connection with you, and I've seen what you're doing, and I'd like to ask you what's up, and, you know, can you perhaps correct your behavior or do something? I'm not going to go talk to your wife. This is your life. But I saw this. So I think in this kind of situation, we have to be in consultation with God, asking, like, God, what should I do? Should I say something? How far should I take it? But also the thing about it is, we shouldn't get on any kind of high horse and feel like, oh, I'm so righteous and I'm your judge. We're not that man's judge. But we can facilitate responsibility for a community.
I think what comes up right there, Marcia, is like what you hearing. Adruma's older than me, probably from a different walk of life, but I think what you hearing in two different languages is, all right, to what extent? Because I am responsible for, if it's a young man and I have the ability to help him, that is something that I should be responsible for, but I have priorities. I'm also responsible for making sure I make it home to my family. How far, in today's world, and I'm from Chicago and I go talk to young people every day, at what point am I willing to engage? How heated can the conversation go? Because another man will shoot you. He will hurt you for a difference of opinion. So am I willing to prioritize correcting this man over making sure I get home to my family? Because if he's fucking her, if he's having sex with her, like, another man is, he going like, hey, bro, why are you all in my business? Why are you worrying about who I'm fucking, so to speak? How far am I willing to go? So if I just do my good Samaritan and say, hey, bro, check this. So you might want to slow your roll a little bit, or you might want to pay attention. At what point, if he say, fuck off, if I say, no, bro, I'm really trying to talk to you because our community, like, how far, to what extent am I going? Like, that's, so I'm not saying I'm not responsible, but to what extent am my priority? Am I more responsible to this man who I may or may not know, or am I more responsible to making it home to my family?
You already know the answer.
Hold that thought 1 second, because we have two participants who wanted to ask a question. So, and Derica?
Can you hear me?
Very low.
I don't know how to turn my volume up.
Just talk up.
Oh, okay. Better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I have no idea where the mic is on my
There you go. Woo!
Excuse me. So just for clarity regarding cheating, and or if you were to see a man kissing someone who you know is married and not married to that man, for me, I mean, if I know them, I'm gonna be like, say, bruh, like, you know, you got understanding with her. Are you transparent about that? Does her husband know, or her wife, whomever she's married to? And then if he says yes, I'm like, well, do you? That's what's up, because I'm polyamorous. But if he's like, no, and it's like one of my friends or acquaintance or even a family member, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna need to help you either be transparent about that, or you need to not be doing that. One or the other. that's where you need to be, and you're not where you need to be. So how can I help you get there?
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you have to be very close with this person, like close friends? Or can it just be that, or close to either party, either the wife or close to him, to make that kind of determination or make that kind of intrusion?
For me, no. If I know them just a little bit, I'm comfortable going there. If they're not comfortable reciprocating that conversation or information, I can respect that too. But at the same time, I feel like I'm here to help the entire world be a better place. So that means people that I may not even know that well. But if I know enough that I feel like I have something to share, I don't give a shit. I'm not scared. I'm going to say something. I'm going to be nice about it. And if they're open to it, great. If they're not, that's fine too.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. And we had a question from Marcella. Marcella, you wanted to say something? You're on.
My question was very similar to Crystal or to Derica. Is I applaud you both for what you're sharing, and a lot of the work that I do is in that. But we are moving away from a platform where monogamy is the default. Is no longer the assumed default. So Adruma, I love what you're standing for, and how do you mitigate that at a time when monogamy is at a loggerheads, for lack of a better word, for its standing in the mega culture? I understand that perhaps for Black people, it's a little different, but it's out there and it's coming for our communities as well. So how do you have such a powerful stand when monogamy might not be it right now for people?
Well, you know,
Thank you for that.
People do a lot of things with their sexuality and don't consult the designer of sexuality. So there's a lot of dumb shit that we do as co-creators, formidable human beings that we are. But we're not the standard of love. The standard of love does not come from a man. It does not come from a woman. It comes from the Creator, and it is expressed most beautifully, most magnificently through man and woman. But we need to be checking out from the Creator what we should be doing with our sexual organs and what we should be doing with our significant other, and what type of love makes the Creator inspired by how we behave. Not everything that we do sexually is a go for, is a desired thing from the being of intellect, emotion, and will that gave us desire for sex, for love, for companionship, for loyalty, for comfort, and the desire to not be betrayed and not to be fucked over and not to be used as some kind of, happy meal, So, I mean, there's a part of a man that, I don't know, the part of a man wants to fuck everything that moves, but particularly, for women. But the thing I want to say is, I believe it's natural for a heterosexual man, particularly, to be enamored by the beauty of the feminine. But it's not natural to have a heart of a thief of love. Every woman that I meet is not somebody I should fuck, no matter how beautiful she is, or no matter how attracted we are to each other. Because you are either in the ideal, I would say that this sacredness of love, of sharing secretions and all that good stuff, that's between one couple. Every other woman that I meet, because the creator is masculine and feminine. The Creator is unseen man and unseen woman, and the Creator has some concepts or desires, and we haven't lived in that design at all, because the human species, women have been trampled on. Okay, go ahead.
Wait. Okay. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate. And even though we're running out of time, I still want to bring this point. Now, as women, our sexuality has been repressed and oppressed for so long. So when we come into being, and realizing that, oh shit, I'm horny, what? And it's not honored by this person that we decided, okay, this person's going to be our mate. So our sexuality is going haywire. Then what do? Sit at home and get all frustrated and be that bitch? Or do we then own our sexuality and say, well, you know what? I don't want to be in a commitment. I want to be, I love female orgasm. That's right. I want to be able to experience multiple heavens. So, okay, I'm with Joe, and Joe can make me reach level 2, which is fine. Positive sexuality. And then you say, well, okay, maybe I want to know what it feels like to reach level 8. I was watching this movie the other day, Nymphomaniac, and it featured this woman, and she went through these whole trials and tribulations because she was so highly sexed. Her husband could not fuck her enough for her to have an orgasm, to get to the point where her vulva became so disruptured from all her trying that she had to turn to BDSM because she had this pain threshold, which she didn't even understand. I mean, that movie is so informative on so many different levels with regard to sexuality. So I think our Western culture has accepted this archaic paradigm that people are monogamous and you have to be one man, one woman. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that. You know, you're paired or you're paired. There's this country near China, Nepal, where they have what's called a walking marriage. And I tell that to my students all the time. There's what's called walking marriage. I can never remember the name of the damn tribe. Masul, something like that. But it's where the woman, there's no fear of, oh, baby mama drama, or there's no fear of divorce because everyone lives in the matriarchal home. The grandmother, the mother, the great-grandmother, the father, the great-father, everybody who's related in that matriarchal vein, they live in that home. And if that woman goes out and sees, say she sees Marcus and says, ooh, baby, I want to fuck. And Marcus says, all right, I'll be back later. And he comes by her. And, you know, they get into some kind of coital relationship, whether it's permanent or temporary, whatever it is. But she has that freedom to sleep with and satisfy her sexual desires with whomever, and she's not looked upon as a slut or anything like that. And if there should be a baby spawned of that relationship, then she don't have to worry about, oh, Marcus is gonna pay to take care of the baby, because the whole damn house is taking care of that baby. So I'm just saying that to say, to bring an alternative. You know, and I know that in Utah they have polygamy, which I don't agree with how they dress the women, because to me they're still oppressing the women. But I'm just saying that to say that maybe we are expanding, because I think women, mother, what'd you say? The female, the female divinity is coming into a reality now where that dynamic may not be the norm anymore. Women are more engaged in their sexuality and more open to express their sexuality. So I don't even know if that is going to stand fast, like Marcella had said.
My answer to you is go to your mountain, pray to your God, and fuck who you desire. I mean,
there you go.
but just as long as you are in synergy with your sacred and not just fucking because you selfish. Okay.
Well, even if I am selfish.
Don't be out of integrity. Don't be out of integrity with your God. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
To a point, like, we can talk about I think with women, it's a huge curiosity that goes on, and I think men get to a certain age where we're just not that curious. Because everything, like, you'll meet a woman, it's biology. A woman reaches her sex peak around 35. A guy does it at 21. So you hear, like, on this show or different show, you hear women that in their middle of their life, and they'll be like, why can't I do this? And why can't I do this? And why is it important that we do this? I just don't have those questions. But some of the questions that a woman may bring up, I had at 21 when I reached my sexual peak. Why can't I fuck everything that walks? Why can't I do this? Why can't I have more than one partner? So some of the things that women bring up now, when they're in their sexual peak, I think women find a way to give themselves a larger platform. Because you'll bring it up. You'll say to like, hey, why can't I do that? Where a guy may be like, I don't even know if I want to. I don't know if I want to know your opinion about it. I don't know if I want to know this. I'm okay with it. Where a woman might be like, I know how to go to work. I know I got to take care of my kid later. But right now at this moment, I'm going to make who I'm sleeping with a priority. And I want to know why this person thinks this, why this person thinks that, why can't I do this? Where a guy may be like, that's a thought that I may have that's not that important to the fabric of what goes on day in and day out. And at 21, it would have been important to me. Why can't I fuck this many people? Why can't I have this many wives? When I did have that testosterone flowing, it's not flowing like that anymore. And I'm kind of seasoned to a point where it's like, hey, this thing that's going on in my head is just something in my head. It's just a thought. It's just a question. It's not real.
Tantra, baby, tantra. Men have multiple orgasms. Tantra, baby, tantra.
I wish. What I do that at? What I do that at?
S.W.E.L.L. When I do a S.W.E.L.L. for men, look at it.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of what I'm going to do. How they can achieve that. I am so jealous.
Oh yeah, you guys can achieve that. You guys can achieve that. It's up to you if you want to achieve it. It's all about the energies.
Women know how to harness that energy. I take a thought that they have in their head and harness it and turn it into a physical energy. So if they so desire to do that, they have the power to do that. I can't conjure up a thought that'll make me have multiple ones at a time. I can't make myself give myself in a... Where I do that at? I want it.
Okay. Come to my class.
That sign me up.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? We have, sugar minor. I want to give you guys your 5 minutes. We're overtime, but it's fine. I want to give you guys your 5 minutes. I really love that we had this engaging discussion. And I hope that our audience, I know, Najami, did you want to say something, Najami?
Yeah, I want to say to the brother that you can have multiple orgasms. One great teacher who teaches that is Mantak Chia, cultivating real sexual energy. And when you learn to tap into your feminine and masculine, I don't know, sorry.
There you go.
When you tap into your feminine and masculine energy within, you are able to enjoy the rhythm, the love, the joy, the ecstasy of sex with your partner. It's just a matter of learning the skill and practicing it. I mean, I get it right away. It's using your breath, knowing how to ejaculate from within, not external.
And you know that ejaculation and orgasm are two different things, right?
Yeah, we know.
And to make the man feel as if he's doing something. Okay? I mean, I have had experiences with men and I've had to ask them, is that it? That's all? Are you serious?
Yep.
We're not gonna bash the males today.
No,
I'm
educating.
We have to get in tune. Pay attention to each other's partners' bodies and really take your time and understand. Like the brother said, women are the goddess head. You gotta listen. You gotta pay attention. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. When we do S.W.E.L.L, Marcus, and I really want you to come on the show, and you Adruma, because S.W.E.L.L is all about women, right? And we try to make it very safe so that women can talk freely about everything. And Tantra is something that we talk about all the time. BDSM is tie me up and, blindfold me and all that. But there's so much psychological stuff that goes into BDSM that it's something that kind of releases and brings down that stress level that people don't even look at it from that perspective. So yeah, that's why I do sweat. Where is it? S.W.E.L.L for women.
I have a question for Marcus.
Yes.
Where are you located?
Chicago.
All right, you should get on meetup.com and go to some Tantra events, because it can happen. If you want it, it can happen. Your body is capable. You just have to tap into it.
Take your woman with you.
Exactly.
Well, I think if we were having a conversation, it was a male and male, but if we broach that conversation, I think it's, again, the same when we're talking about males, is what I decide to give priority. I don't feel sexually like I'm missing anything. I'm very comfortable, happy in the space that I'm in with my partner, with so on and so forth. So it's like, where on the priority list would I say, okay, I need to go explore this and find this? Well, like, if it's something I'm missing, I missed it, but I feel great, feel fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's well and good, you know, but as a woman of a certain age, it's nice to spice it up sometimes. And a lot of times you don't even have to, you can do tantra and you can ejaculate without even penetration. Boom! Blew your mind, right?
Okay.
But that's part of the energy and the sexual energy. And a lot of men, when they get to a certain age, they tend to say, well, I'm not, you know, this is SpeakerMC Show. This is not S.W.E.L.L, but I'm just going to say this. They can't get it that hard. They're very flaccid. And that has to do with the breath. The breath exercises also. Or they come too soon.
My response to that would be like, I want to have the same conversation with you about what an NBA basketball game could do, how it can just make you feel so good and help you hit certain levels that you've never touched before as you watch these amazing athletes defy gravity. And I want to see how high on your priority list that would go up if you feel like, no, for me, I'm kind of good. Tantra works for me, S.W.E.L.L works for me. So it's different strokes, different folks. So it's where I think a woman in her power and in her grace, she has the ability to say, okay, my platform today, it takes on this importance. It's important that this is what a man feels and this is what I feel and this is how we should connect. When I'm comfortable saying, hey, if that floats your boat, I think that's fantastic. If you want to know what makes me feel that way and what I think everybody should be able to experience is watching a basketball player hit a game-winning shot. You should feel it. You should touch it. You should see what it does to you. Like, I feel that way about that, where it's like, okay, I prioritize that higher than I would prioritize something else. And I'm completely comfortable saying, like, hey, every woman on this show can enlighten me, school me, teach me, educate me, and do certain things, but that doesn't make it jump up the priority list of what I consider pleasure.
Okay. I got you.
Can I say something briefly, please? Please, can I say something briefly?
Well, I'll give you 2 seconds because I want these guys to have their fair share of talking about what they're doing.
Please, that's this, my brother. You said earlier that when mother is happy, everybody is happy. Whatever it takes to make your queen happy is not, it will help to enhance you. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That I agree with. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Well, I just wanted to say this has been a very engaging, a very spirited conversation about man-to-man relationships. And I don't even think we did kind of touch into some of the solutions of, how to create that kind of better relations between men, the non-compete type of relations. So now I want to open up the floor to our guests, and I thank you both for being here tonight. It has been such an awesome pleasure. And I wanted Adruma to go and just say, you have 3 minutes, sir, to tell us a little bit how to connect with you, what event is going on with you, and what is your free offer.
Okay, well, you can connect me through aj1victoria@gmail.com. The email that you put up was incorrectly spelled, but the simpler one is just aj1victoria@gmail.com. I'm editing a book called What Is This Shift? And I'm just talking about Mother God and the emergence of women's power and that kind of thing. And I'm also doing music. And also I'm working with mentoring a young boy who's 9 years old. And I think we men, if we can mentor young kids who don't have a dad, I think that's a good thing. So,
when did we stop doing that?
Come again?
When did we stop doing that? You know, the boys' club and all that.
Oh,
Four hands or something like that.
I think when I think the sexual revolution kind of fucked that up. To be honest with you.
Oh, okay, all right, Mr.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Carter.
First and foremost, like I had a blast. This was never a dull time. Thank you to Adruma, the participants. You always, Marcia, you always provide a platform where the exchange of ideas is welcome, whether a person likes what you're saying or not. It's always a comfortable forum to exchange ideas, which always makes me want to come back. And I think that kind of speaks to the subject matter today. I think the universal takeaway from what happens, if me and Adruma are talking, particularly with men, like it's more comfort to say like, all right, bro, you think how you think. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. You're different. I'm different. You can have your ideas. I can have mine. And I think sometimes women, they can see that and they'll be like, nah, that can't be real. And I think that's because and some women that I come across, and a universal kind of thought I have is like, women have the ability, and I call it ability, and I do not mean that sarcastically, to be able to harness energy in a form of like, they can have a thought and they can operate off that thought. Whereas I can have a thought, I can say I want some ice cream, and in my mind, I'll squash that thought all by myself. Like, hey, there's no time for it. You're on your way to work. You're a grown man. Why do you want some ice cream? I'll squash that thought with reason, with rationale. Whereas I think a woman has the ability to say to like, hey, I feel this, and therefore, since I feel it, it's important, and it needs to be championed, and this thought needs to be carried out. And why don't you feel it? Why isn't this like this? Why isn't that like this? And I think sometimes, like, when you see men, that'll make men boring, because like there isn't as much effort, there isn't as much contrast, isn't as much tension as you might see. So it's like, yeah, that's boring. Well, like, it is more interesting to say what I'm saying is important and what you're saying is stupid. I don't think men, as they grow, they have that as much. I don't have the energy to say, hey, Adruma, I don't like what you're saying. What I'm saying is better, and why don't you feel that? I don't have that. I don't have it. Whereas I think women, they do. Like, you'll look at me and say, hey, Marcus, you're an idiot. I don't like what you're saying. How can you not feel that? What do you mean you don't care if this happens? And like, that'll be a real thought that they have, and they'll operate off of it. I don't have it. It's just not there. Like, okay, I wouldn't even call it being content. I would just say to like, all right, I'm very comfortable with my station in life. And I understand that like, I'm going to come across people that have lived the life just as long as I have, or longer, that are going to have different ideas based on different experiences, based on different wants and desires. And I want to learn. I want to hear more about it, not so I can cast blame, not so I can develop a conclusion, but just so I can be enlightened. Because when I die, I can't take anything with me, and I'm only a byproduct of the experiences, the people that I've met, the things that I've done, and I'm not in it to impose my will or how I think. I don't think I'm correct in what I say, so I want to debate. I want to hear why you think what you think is important, and it's not to argue, but to learn. And I want to make sure that we're going in the space of truth, not in the space of whose voice is loudest, or who has a penis, or who has a vagina. It doesn't matter. If you're right, I want to go your way. We're going to take turns driving. Mm-hmm. If you got a better way to get there, I'm going to sit in the passenger seat. What do you need the radio station on? Is the air okay? I want to learn from you. And I'm okay that you think completely different than me, or you find pleasure in different places. And sometimes I think a woman can be thrown off. They're like, hey, I like what he said. I don't have any problem with it. I'm okay. He thinks that. That's fine. Me and that man do not have a problem whatsoever. I would not allow myself to have a problem with another man. I do not have time to have a beef or a problem with another man. That man is grown. He thinks the way he thinks. That's fine by me. These women, or any woman, is a grown woman. She's fine. She thinks what she thinks. Doesn't affect me any way, shape, form, or fashion. I want you to flourish and spread your wings.
And your legs.
As you can. That's okay too. But I'm in a race to learn more. I want to be better today than I was yesterday. So I need more interaction and to learn more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Go to info@blacklovematters.com to get a free book. Info@blacklovematters, get a free book. Free book. Now, email. Go.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, I'm going to be very forward and say, I would like to have a testimonial from each of you. Did you enjoy the show? Did you not enjoy the show? Did you like the topic? Did you not like the topic? Would you like to come back again? Did you like being here? So, may I have a testimonial from, who wants to go first? Adruma?
Oh, I'm very happy you invited me, and I'm very happy to meet you, Marcus. You have inspired me with your thought and your substance, and you ladies as well. And yeah, thanks for being. I'm happy to be here, and I'm also a speaker. If anybody wants to hire me, I'm available. Just let me know. And thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marcus.
Always a great time. I will say this. I will say, you know what's right on the tip of the tongue, Marcia, and that's like, have a show. These women need to be able to speak too, because that's what a real dialogue is. That's what a real meet is, for me to be able to talk to Derricka and like, hey, Marcus, why do you think that? Derricka, why do you think that? The last two shows, you've had a male panel, and then you tried to hear what me and Adruma says, but like, it's there. They're like, I need to get at them. They need to get at me. That needs to happen. Ding! Ring the bell. Let's go. You know it's coming. It's right there. It's
No, but
right there. We got to do it.
It was women's show. The women spoke.
Mm-hmm. All women.
You gotta throw them in a can. Just let it go down. You gotta see what happens.
Well, it's so funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that. But
shameless plug. Go.
Okay, shameless plug. On the 12th, I'm having S.W.E.L.L. happy hour, and that has to do with anal sex, and our guest speaker is Ruwan Mapaglia. And on Wednesday, April 19th, we're having S.W.E.L.L. happy hour. It's going to be an all-female panel, and it's similar to the all-male panel review. This is going to be the all-female review. This is our other quarterly event that we have. And our next event is going to be a live event, a S.W.E.L.L. happy hour in June 15th, at a location to be determined, but it's going to be fabulous.
I think so.
Your book will be finished by then, and your book will be edited by then, right, Adruma?
Yes.
So both of you can come. You can buy a table and flaunt your book. We're going to have a trunk show. We're going to have a S.W.E.L.L. drink. You know, it's going to be fabulous. We're going to have a rapper. We're going to have a singer. We're going to have a poet, a sensual poet. Yeah. We're going to do it up. We're going to do it up in June. Our next show.
Like if I'm not there, I'm missing it. I got to be there.
You got to be there. That's right. That's right. Our next show on the SpeakerMC Show is going to be on April 17th. April 17th, we'll have two guests, and we're going to be discussing who am I really? Talking about self-awareness, self-exploration, how people are walking around and don't even know themselves, and then they're introducing themselves to other people, and they don't even know who they are. So we're going to be talking about who am I really? That's going to be very interesting too. I hope everyone can join us then. And Black Love, yes, thank you for putting that in the, you are so good, Derricka. Thank you. Would you like to be my assistant here? She has put everything in the chat box for me. So please look in the chat box. Facebook, the Skin Hunger Project, and oh, I thought you put Black Love Matters in there for Marcus. Marcus, can you type in your Black Love Matters information in the chat box for me, please? Yes, so please check these gentlemen out. Adruma Victoria at aj1victoria@gmail, and Marcus Carter at www.blacklovematters.com. You get a free book. And Adruma, what were you giving away?
A free book called The Return of Mother Goddess.
The Return of Mother Goddess. And I'm not giving away anything free. So here we are. I thank you all for joining us tonight. I know we went a little bit over time, but you know, it has been very spirited and very, very enjoyable. And I hope everyone got some value from our show tonight. So thank you all for being here. And I hope you can join us on the next show, which is Monday, April 17th. If not, join us on the S.W.E.L.L show, which is on the 12th of April, talking about anal sex. And on the 19th, talking about all-female review. I'm also doing a webinar it's called 7 Steps to Bring Back That Loving Feeling in 7 days. That will be on the 11th of April. So, oh, and on the 9th of April, I will be presenting at the Makata Museum, Why Are You Still Single? Yeah, being hosted by Najami. It's Bushwoman Conversations with myself and Lloyd Strayhorn. So that's going to be fabulous. Yes. Shameless plug. Yay! Marcella, do you want to plug anything?
Hi. So I teach about consent and communication. I'm a sexuality educator. That's why I have all the books. Not, you know.
I couldn't have guessed.
Yes, I'm a sexuality educator. I think I actually reached out to Black Love Matters. I don't know. I'll have to check. There was something that I got an email back from. But I teach about consent and communication. I do a lot of things. So I put a couple of my things there. But this was just absolutely delicious. Thank you, Crystal. She popped it up, and I was like, oh, I'm putting my kid to bed. That's why my camera was off for a while. But this was just absolutely, oh my goodness.
Thank you. I love you. Crystal?
Yes, hi.
Hi, do you want to plug anything? Do you want to say anything?
Yes, I am located in Dallas, Texas. I'm a polyamorous community organizer, educator, spreading awareness, making polyamory okay. I am also a sex surrogate. I've been doing that for like 10 years, 11 years almost. And if you save the chat, you'll have the notes. My links are there. Everyone's links are there. Everything y'all mentioned, I was typing out as fast as I could when baby wasn't demanding my attention.
She was good.
He said hi.
Hi! Okay, anything coming up for you that you want to promote?
Yeah, in Dallas, we have the Poly Dallas Symposium. This will be the 3rd annual one. It's going to be July 14th through July 16th. And it's an amazing time. It's this year, I believe the topic is relationship, power, anarchy, and equality.
That's a lot.
It's good stuff. Last year it was designer relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that I would have wanted to go to. Relationship, power, equality, and what?
Anarchy.
Anarchy. And when is this?
July 14th through the 16th. I'll get the link and put it in the notes for you guys.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. And Najami.
Hey, fabulous. Firecracker as usual.
She just went and did a transformation. She just went and did a Clark. She's beautiful. You went from being, you about to hit the club? She just went and did What is
like, that's my artistic in the background. I did this in the background. So I want to plug Bushwoman Conversations Project, April 9th two great guest speakers, Lloyd Strayhorn, extraordinary numerologist, and the witty, talented, vivacious Chambers, who is going to be the relationship consultant. I am Najami, your way life coach. And it's at Okada Museum, 80 Hanson Place in Brooklyn, New York. And it's about why you're still single. Love is for everyone, no matter your age. So if you're in a relationship, you can still come to relationship tips and just make it a big party.
You know, it's so funny you said that. Some people are in relationships and they're still acting like they're single. So let's not even go there. Well, I think I have overstepped a lot of bounds tonight. We are like 90 minutes in, but we just couldn't stop. We just couldn't stop. But I thank you, gentlemen. I thank you for entertaining our guests with their questions and answering everything. And I thank you for being here. I thoroughly enjoyed everyone's input. And if there's any way that I can serve you, please let me know, because I am here to serve you. And folks, we are at the end of our program. And Maya Angelou always says, people always show you who they are. You got to believe them when they show you who they are. So on that note, know yourself, be yourself, make somebody happy, give them a smile. All right. On that note, ta-ta!